The Honeycrisp, the McIntosh, the Gala, the Pink Lady, Golden Delicious, which is not a Golden Delicious, Granny Smith, Gold Rush, Crimson Crisp, and Red Delicious. Out of my 12 varieties, this is by far the biggest apple. Not even close. I don't know if this is normal for Honeycrisp to get that big, but wow. It's just enormous. Hello, beautiful subscribers. It's the end of August here, southeastern Pennsylvania, zone 7A. And I was out here the other day doing some short clip videos of my apples when I realized that enough of them are finally ripe that we can pick them and make a taste testing video. This is fun for me because I finally have enough varieties of apples ready to pick and taste test. For many, many years, I only had Gala apples, but now I have 12 different varieties and about a third of them are holding fruit. I guess we'll start with everyone's favorite, the Honeycrisp. This tree has just been doing outstanding for me, producing very large, high quality fruit. And I've learned over the years growing fruit trees that some trees just do better than other trees. Doesn't matter where you plant them. You could have two different Honeycrisps real close to each other, and for no rhyme or reason, some trees will just do way better than others. And this tree has been doing very well. So let's pick one or two for our taste test. All right, so like most fruits, I have to pick them early because of all the animals. But in the grocery store, the Honeycrisp is really red all the way around. But it seems like mine are not getting that red color on the backside or the bottom before I'm forced to pick them. And I'll show you why I'm forced to pick them. You look in here, you can see they start to get fungus, and the birds start to get them, and the deer start to get them. So sometimes you got to pick your fruit a little early. But I do think they're ready. I had one the other day and it still seemed ripe, a little tart. I'm certainly not going to let the birds get to them before I pick them. Here's the McIntosh. This is fun for me because this is the first year I'm ever going to get to harvest a McIntosh. This tree has been in the ground now for 3 years. It's exploded with growth this year. It managed to hold about 10 pieces of fruit to maturity. And the McIntosh is kind of cool because it looked different than all the other apples the entire year. Like it grows like a donut, more of a, like a donut shape. Let me zoom in here. Here it is. This is my first ever McIntosh. You're gonna get to harvest it with me. Came off really easy. You can see it has that waxing coating. And we're gonna set it down over there and add it for the taste test. This is a beautiful piece of fruit. So the McIntosh apple originated from a farmer in Ontario, John McIntosh. In 1811, he found a seedling growing amongst wild apples, and ever since it's gone on to be extremely popular and actually the parent of the Empire and Cortland apple. So I have 3 really old Gala apple trees. Here's one of them. It's a special tree for me. It's the very first fruit tree that I ever planted on the farm, maybe 14 years ago. This is my oldest fruit tree. And the Gala's awesome. I've been picking it for about 2 weeks now, and it's still holding fruit. But I recommend you pick your Galas earlier rather than later. They can soften up rather quickly on you. Okay, let's pick one for the taste test. Like I said, Gala is a really popular apple you'll find in the grocery store. It originates in New Zealand. Its parents are Kids Orange Red and Golden Delicious. And it's gone on to be a parent of Jazz and Envy and Pacific Ross. So, popular apple you will find in the grocery store. I'm not the only one who loves the apples. The horses, they get to eat lots. Here's my favorite apple, the Gold Rush. This tree is young, yet loaded with fruit. The Gold Rush is my favorite apple because of the intense flavor it can get after it's been stored for a while. This tree is gonna be impressive in a few years. Okay, let's try and pick the most yellow one for the taste test. Gold Rush is a late ripening variety, so it's definitely not ready. It'll start to get more and more yellow. And actually, if you store it, the longer you store it, the more flavor it will get. Very intense flavor. You will have a hard time finding this apple in the grocery store though, because it will start to get a russet look to it. It doesn't have a good color. And most of the time in the grocery store, people want something with color. So, go out of your way at your local farmer's market this year and try and get your hands on a Gold Rush apple. It's completely worth it. You can buy a bunch and then somehow store them in the fridge for a few weeks or months. It will blow your mind. Here's my dwarf pink lady. This is my only apple tree that's fully dwarf, which means it should max out 8 to 10 feet. You can buy any fruit tree usually in 3 different sizes. Standard, which means they'll grow the biggest, semi-dwarf, and then dwarf. And this just has to do with what rootstock the pink lady has been grafted onto, which will regulate its growth. Pink lady is the very first tree to flower for me. And it's supposed to ripen early, but these do not look pink at all. There's only 2 fruit on this tree. The rest have dropped off, which is not a good sign. All right, let's pick one for the taste test, even though I don't think it's ripe, but we'll find out when we bite into it. I mean, I'm assuming this needs to be completely red for a pink lady. And like I said, a dwarf tree is going to be good for any backyard growers, anyone with small backyard, not a lot of space. You're probably going to want to seek out a dwarf fruit tree. All right, next is what's supposed to be a Golden Delicious. This tree has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. This is the very first year it's flowered, very first year it's fruited. I was so excited because it's taken 7 years for this tree to flower and fruit. When I saw flowers on it this year, I just couldn't even believe my eyes. I almost came to tears because I've been taking care of it for so long, waiting for my Golden Delicious. Well, guess what? I do not think it's a Golden Delicious. Could be wrong, but that certainly doesn't look like a Golden Delicious. I bought this tree on fastgrowingtrees.com. Hit me up in that comment section and let me know what type of apple you guys think that is. But to me, it looks the closest to my Honeycrisp. Not a terrible thing. to exchange a Golden Delicious for a Honeycrisp, but I already have a Honeycrisp. So let me know what type of apple you think that is. I'll zoom in closer on the tree here. Here's what's supposed to be the Golden Delicious. It's actually producing a huge piece of fruit, but I don't think the Golden Delicious is supposed to be red at all. So, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. It's producing a beautiful piece of fruit. I just wish I knew what it was. Let me know what you guys think down in that comment section. Regardless of what it is, I think it's ready. So we're gonna pick a couple here. Check out the size of these apples. Just crazy. Here's my Granny Smith. This tree's been in the ground. This is the 3rd season. Covered with flowers, covered with fruit. Dropped 99%. It's got some fruit all the way up here at the top, which we're gonna have to try and get for the taste test. I didn't bring my apple picker out here, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get these. This is probably a terrible idea. Okay, got it. And doesn't really want to come off. There's a little bit of damage on this one. I don't spray a lot late in the season. Like, I'll spray up into mid-May, and then after that I stop spraying. So I'm all right with some of my apples having slight blemishes and fungus or insect problems. Here's my Red Delicious apple tree. It's a little bit older. I'd say that it's 6 years. This is the first year it's actually held some fruit to maturity. So let's see. What's cool about the Red Delicious is it has a different shape to it, and it actually has that different shape all the way from pollination. All right, let's pick one for the taste test. They are usually a lot more purple than this in the grocery store, and honestly, I don't even like Red Delicious in the grocery store. I originally got this to help pollinate my other trees. Red Delicious in the grocery store is soft, mealy, and lacking flavor. So hopefully this will pack more of a punch. Here's another one of my young apple trees. This is the Crimson Crisp. It's been in the ground. I think this is the 2nd season. It's actually holding fruit. This is a product of an intense breeding program. One of the parents is Enterprise, which gives it really good disease resistancy. But this apple blew my mind about 2 weeks ago. Crazy intense flavor, like drinking apple cider. Way better than the Gala. So let's add this to our taste test. And I have a feeling this might be the winner, the Crimson Crisp. All right, we have 9 apples to taste test. So let's start with the first 4, and we'll see which one I think's the best or which ones stand out. Here's the Honeycrisp. Very crunchy, juicy, tart, complex, awesome. Not very sweet.
Okay.
McIntosh, this is exciting. I've never had my own McIntosh before. Way tartar, sour, softer on the inside, mild. maybe it wasn't ready. Okay, next in this group is the Pink Lady, which I don't think is ready, but we're gonna try it anyways. Yeah, it's got some flavor. Good texture. Really thin skin, but it's tart. And I don't know why the Pink Lady's not ripe yet. It's supposed to be one of the most early ripening. So, out of the 4, Gala's first, just because it has the most sugar. Honeycrisp, then the McIntosh, then the Pink Lady in the first group here. Next we have Granny Smith. First Granny Smith I've ever had from, you know, my own tree. Whoa. Whoa, sugar. Wow. Which makes me think that it's ripe and maybe the Honeycrisp is not ripe yet. All right, Gold Rush, which is my favorite apple when it's, you know, ripe. It's definitely not ripe because it's so hard to cut through. This is supposed to be a late season variety. Crunchy. Flavor, but sour. Crimson Crisp. Look at that.
Here it is.
Yeah. A lot of flavor.
I have to say,
That is a good apple. And last but not least,
those 4 jumps.
Gold Rush. I mean, Red Delicious. Oh, wow. Actually, that might be the most ripe. Soft, like you would get at the grocery store. Mild, but has a good flavor. Out of this last batch, it's Granny Smith first, then Crimson Crisp, then the Red Delicious, Mystery Apple, and then Gold Rush, just because it's not even close to being ready. So, out of them all, it's gonna be Gala number 1, then Granny Smith, then Honeycrisp, then Crimson Crisp. So my top 4, Gala, Granny, Honeycrisp, Crimson Crisp. All right, so I'm looking forward to doing this again next year. We will have more varieties to taste test. We'll have the Fuji, we'll have the Arkansas Black, we'll have the Wine Set, and hopefully we'll have a better, more ripe Pink Lady. Next year, we'll be able to taste test hopefully 12 varieties instead of 9. And like always, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.